Good morning, guys. Today we're going to be talking about square roots, and our goal is to get to being able to solve equations using square roots. So go ahead and get your notes out and get ready to take some. All right, go ahead and title this Square Roots again. And your essential question I need you to be able to answer at the end is, what do square roots undo? What do they undo? All right. First, let's go ahead and put the formal definition of what a square root is. Square root is a number that when multiplied by itself equals a given number. So if we're taking the square root of any number, we're looking for what multiplies, what times itself, gets us n, gets us that number, and that's our answer. Keep in mind that a positive number times a positive number is a positive number. A negative number times a negative number is a positive number. And that's why we have this plus minus, because when you take negative 2 times negative 2, it's also positive 4. There's two outcomes. A very select few of square roots are called perfect squares. So everything is a square root, but there's only a select few out of square roots that are perfect squares. And those are numbers that have the answers as integers. And remember, that's positive and negative whole numbers. Okay, so the square root of 1 is 1 times 1 is 1, and negative 1 times negative 1 is also 1. The square root of 4 is 2 times 2 is 4, and negative 2 times negative 2 is 4. That's what this plus minus sign means, positive 1 and a negative 1. All right, I think we're ready for some examples. So let's get started. All right, find the two square roots of the number. So they're wanting us to use that plus minus sign here, okay? All right, so what number times itself gets us 36? I'm going to start writing a little cheat sheet to the side. 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 2 is 4. 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times 4 is 16. 5 times 5 is 25. 6 times 6 is 36. Now I found 36 is 6 times 6. So I'm going to 6 times 6 is 36. The answer is plus minus 6. Not 6 times 6 is plus minus 6. All right, what two numbers get us 100? Let's keep going with our little cheat that we're going to be able to use later. 7 times 7 is 49. 8 times 8 is 64. 9 times 9 is 81. 10 times 10 is 100. That's what I'm looking for. So what two numbers times itself gets us 100? That's 10 and 10. So it's plus minus 10. Not both of the 10s, just one of the 10s. All right, 121. What two numbers multiply to 121? So far on my sheet, I don't have 121, so let's try 11 times 11. Guess what? 11 times 11 is 121. 11 times 11, so positive 11 times positive 11 is 121. Negative 11 times negative 11 is also a positive 121. All right. The next set of examples, the directions read, find the square roots. So if we need to find two square roots, we'll find square roots, the two square roots, and here's how we'll know when we're reading our textbook if they want us to find two. Here, they're wanting us to find 1 because they only leave the negative sign. Here, they're wanting you to find 2 because they leave it as a plus and a minus, so they want you to find both. Here, they're wanting you to find 1 because they don't tell you that plus minus sign. That's how we're going to read that in our textbook when we have to evaluate what we're going to do. All right, so let's go ahead and solve for the 1 root of 1. So what times what is 1? And luckily I already wrote my cheat, so I know 1 times 1 is 1. So 1 times 1 is 1, and it's looking for the negative. So negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1. Our answer is negative 1. Alright, don't freak out when it comes to fractions. You can break this down into what is the square root of 4 over what is the square root of 25 and leave it as a fraction. So what times what is 4? And I wrote my cheat, and I know that 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 2 is 4. So plus minus, we know that the numerator is going to be 2. So now we're thinking, what times what is 25? What times what is 25? 5 times 5 is 25, and 5 is our denominator, and we did it. Last, we're looking at what is the square root of 12.25. We're going to forget about the decimal at first, so we don't have to worry about that yet. And we're going to figure out what times what is 1,225. What times what? So 11 is way far off, so let's go ahead and jump to like 25. Let's see what 25 times 25 is. 25 times 25 is 625. Still too low. Let's jump a little bit higher. Let's go to 35 times 35. 35 times 35 is, perfect, 1,225. So 35 times 35, the only place that we can include the decimal now is in between the 3 and the 5, and that works out perfectly because we need 2 decimal spaces, and with the multiplication of those two numbers, we'll get 1 here, 2 there. So we're only looking for one answer since they didn't tell us the plus minus. The answer to the square root of 12.25 is 3.5. All right, let's go ahead and evaluate it using some of the in the order of operations. All right, we're going to evaluate some expressions using please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, because there is no variable and no equal sign. So let's start with example 7. First, let's simplify the square root of 25. The square root of 25, you probably should have that cheat written down from the last slide, and you have 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 5 is 25, so this is 5 times 3, and then 12 minus that. So 5 times 3 is 15. 12 minus 15 is negative 3, and you're done. 28 divided by 7 is 4. So this is now going to become the square root of 4 plus 2.4. The square root of 4 is 2, because 2 times 2 is 4. And 2 plus 2.4 is 4.4. All right, 9. Let's go ahead and simplify first that square root. So the square root of 49 is 7, so we'll have 7 minus 10. 7 minus 10 is negative 3, and 5 times negative 3 is negative 15. All right, here's where number 10 is where I would like us to get to when we're evaluating using square roots. The area of a circle is 2,826 square feet, right? And solve the equation to find the radius of the circle. I'm not asking you to have the equation memorized, but here's what it is. All pi's r squared. A equals pi r squared. So we're going to plug in the area for A, 2,826, equal to pi r squared. It says solve for the radius. So we're going to go through, there's an equal sign, there's a variable, and we're going to go through PC, SADME. No parentheses, no like terms. Undo subtraction addition doesn't exist here. Undo multiplication and division. Right here, between pi and r squared, is multiplication. So we're going to divide by pi. We're going to divide by pi. Then we're going to have r squared equals 2826 divided by pi. I'm going to leave it like that for now. Exponents. Do we have exponents? Yes, we have a squared exponent. And squared exponent undoes, what undoes squared exponent is square root. So we're going to take the square root of both sides And r will equal the square root of 2,826 divided by pi. I'm okay if you leave it in terms like that. If you can get here, that's like the big idea. And the radius is in feet. Luckily, this does simplify or approximate out to 30 feet. Does approximate out to 30 feet. If you would go through first do 2,826 divided by pi and then take the square root of that in your calculator because it's going to be a crazy decimal. Alright, go ahead and try these 5 examples on your own. When you're ready to check in to see how well you did, press play. And your essential question is, what operation does square root undo? Alright, thanks for pausing your video. You should have found, this one's only looking for the positive answer, so the square root of 169 is 13. This one's also only looking for the positive answer since it's not stated, and this is 15. The square root of 4.41 is plus minus, since they're asking for the 2 answers, 2.1. Alright, 4, this is just looking for the negative answer, so the square root of 16 is 4, and the square root of 25 is 5. This one, first we're going to divide 512 by 2, and then take the square root of it. It's only looking for the positive answer, and that one is 16. Alright, you guys are ready for the checkpoint? I hope you guys have a good day.